Older than Brian Shaw, actually. Old foes. Good to see him back, and it's Boudreault, who I imagine will be making all the running in this. He's so young and athletic. Ormar, good start by the old man.
Well, you know, don't call him an old man, you know. He's a 40-year-old man carrying a wine barrel. I can relate to that. Look at the technique here.
That's one giant wine barrel as well. Goodness me, you'd have to turn it up the way as well. That's all part of the rules. They can drop it if they want, Danny. That does not terminate the go. 90 seconds to finish all this madness. Travis struggling a little bit there.
And we're on to the frame carry now.
Is this where the fitness tells? The younger man, off he goes, but this is really demanding on the grip. Perhaps a little old man strength will kick in here.
Well, they can drop it as many times as they want, as long as they pick it up again. And the front of the frame must cross the line. Altmaier struggling. But look at this.
Boudreault, he's halfway down the course, looking good. The young Canadian, very quietly spoken, and he's done it just over the minute. That's a great time. 90 seconds was given for this whole course, and for good reason, Danny.
Altmaier struggling now, losing his grip on his left hand.
I saw that. He's looking at the palm of his hand. I hope he hasn't taken any skin off it, or he's going to be hurting for the entire contest.
Well, that's it for Altmaier. He had a few seconds to play with, but he was beaten. But Boudreault, the Canadian,
first of all, let's
no sweat.
For USA's Travis Altmaier.
Altmaier managed all three of the early implements, got back 8 meters and 18 centimeters. He carried that frame. Good effort by him. Boudreault, though. Look at that, Danny. Finished the lot just over the minute. Take a look at this again. Really difficult to stabilize it. Swinging around, it sits about 6 inches off the side of each leg. It's so difficult just to get it moving from one leg to the other.
Representing Latvia.
Well, we move on then to the Latvian, Ivo Smokstelis, all the way from Riga. Taking on the Brit, Gavin Bilton, a giant Welshman. He's changed his facial hair. It was a huge moustache last year.
Yeah, he was like an old-fashioned strongman, which is quite suitable here in Old Sacramento, but he's still just as big, Big Gav. Suitable nickname as well.
It's a fast start from the Latvian onto the anvil.
Yeah, you can choose any order you wish. Some of the guys find it easier to get the barrels out the way. Although they're lighter, 220 pounds each, they take a lot of manhandling, if you like, just the sheer width of them.
Smokstelis has got the speed. Oh, but not the technique, whereas Gavin Bilton is able to use that belly to great effect.
The power belly.
Absolutely. And neck and neck now as we get to the frame carry.
He's a big guy, Gav. He's certainly not the 200-pound man that signed up for the British Army 13, 14 years ago, whenever it was. He's quite a bit bigger now.
He could be a tank.
Oh, goodness, he's gone down. And he's huffing and puffing. I'm not sure if that's grip or sheer fatigue. It's so heavy. I mean, it's a huge deadlift. Never mind a frame carry. There's a little push there.
Bilton struggling. Bought Smokstelis some time, but he's not using it.
Magnus there just warning him, you cannot deliberately slide it. That's a big no-no. Must pick and lift, but I think they're both exhausted. The 90 seconds is irrelevant now.
Well, Smokstelis managed 3 objects in 36.38 seconds. And Bilton, well, he managed to get that frame carry just a little bit ahead of Smokstelis, putting him currently in 3rd.
Yeah, Smokstelis dropping the frame and actually dropping the barrel here as well. That cost him some time, but the frame, he didn't really drop it, he just slid it, and he wasn't given any distance at all.
Cost him some time, could have cost him a foot. And we move on to the giant, Brian Shaw. Now, obviously it's been pairs so far, but Brian is doing this alone. The loneliness of the strongman, Colin. But will that push him forward?
I think Brian pushes himself forward. 4 times world's strongest man. He's back in action again, nearly 40 years old. The great Brian Shaw, an icon of the sport, Danny, absolutely. And at 6'8", he certainly blocks out a lot of the sun as well. He's massive, as ever.
But with no one alongside him, will this help or hinder him, do you think?
Oh, Brian will have his pace in his head. I mean, it might just be a little bit slower if you were just pushed neck and neck with somebody, but he knows what he's got to beat. He's the consummate professional. Right now, he's doing okay. On track, I think. Little jog back.
And that's his version of jogging. Onto the frame carry and the glove toss.
Those big size 17, 18 shoes of his. Massive guy. He's the only man who actually finds this frame reasonably narrow. Everyone else is about maybe a foot or so off of their body. He's so broad in the shoulder. The ex-basketballer coming towards the minute mark. He's not going to beat Boudreault.
But he manages a very good time indeed. 1 minute, 5.5 seconds for Brian Shaw. As you say, didn't beat Boudreault. A good performance.
Give it up for Brian Shaw!
Well, it's all about consistency, isn't it? Second place, 1 minute, 5 seconds, .44. The big Shaw is back. So far, he's on track. I don't think he'll be too disappointed. Maxime is so fast. He may well have expected that.
Well, he doesn't look disappointed.
Group 1 winner of the loading
Nor should he be.
medley
But
from
Boudreault,
Canada,
well, he'd be delighted with that. So Boudreault takes the loading medley, all 4 objects in just over a minute.